Good morning, students. This is going to be on lesson 90 of number sense and page 138 and 139. We are talking about integers, and we should understand that integers are whole numbers that are either positive or negative or zero. And when we're adding or subtracting integers, for adding integers, we can think about that when you add a series of numbers together, if one of the numbers is a negative, then it's like we're subtracting. It's like we're adding a negative. Okay, so we're going to be doing subtraction. Now, when we add a subtraction and a negative, and those two things are beside each other, it's going to be like kind of like they undo each other. Okay, so if you take away from something, right, um, then you're causing the number to become lower. If you take away something that is supposed to be taking away something else, it's almost like you're adding into it. So when you subtract a negative, it actually turns into an addition. It's a weird sort of thing that happens here. The way I always imagine it is I think of having two negative signs that combine and turn into a plus sign. That's just the way that my brain's always thought of it that way. But here I have four questions just with different signs, and they get four different answers because of it. So 5 plus 3, that's straightforward. We just have to answer 8. 5 subtract 3, that equals 2. Now, if we were to do 5 plus negative 3, this negative sign would essentially override the positive sign. It's like just like we're doing 5 subtract 3. So we get the answer 2. Now, if we do 5 subtract negative 3, now we have two negatives working together or working against each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this then into a positive and just say, well, it's just like 5 plus 3. Okay? If 5 plus negative 3 is going down, 5 subtract negative 3 should be going up. And we have 5 plus 3 equals 8. I usually like to think about it as I like to determine the symbols before I start my questions. So if I have something that's a long series of a sequence of numbers all written together, something like this top one is, what I do personally is in my mind, I get rid of the extra information because some of this is extra information right now, right? Like it's not really necessary for me to have this plus sign beside my 6 because it's not really doing anything. It doesn't change anything about the question. Just like having these two negative signs together, it doesn't really change anything. I might as well just turn this into an addition sign. So then I rewrite this same formula. I would do it in my head, but it's good to get into the habit of rewriting on paper and then answering the question. We have negative 1 subtract 6, so I just got rid of this plus sign. Plus 4, that's the same. And then plus 3, because it's subtracting a negative 3, which is just adding. Okay, and then what I've been talking to students about is people have been usually doing the positive first. So they'll add the positives together, put that at the front of the equation. That's 7. Subtract 6, subtract 1, subtract 6, which is actually just 7 subtract 7, or 6 subtract 6, which all together equals 0. Okay, we are going to be looking at page 108 or 138 and 139. I would do number 1, every other 1, 2, 3, B, E, F, and 4. All right. I hope this is helpful, and please send me a message if you need any help.